Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. We are here for grade 6 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject. Scroll down to grade 6 math and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter probability. The lessons we're going to cover today are compound events, find the number of outcomes by counting, identify dependent and independent events, probability of dependent and independent events. Let's just start with the lesson compound events. Find the number of outcomes by counting. Okay, you spin the spinner and pick a card. How many outcomes are possible? So they are the compound events. Compound events means more than one event. You need to calculate the total outcomes, so you need to multiply the outcomes of both the events. Like for this spinner, you have only two outcomes, and for the cards, you have total four outcomes. So you have to do times four, that is 8. The correct option is 8. Okay, let's just start with the test questions. You spin the spinner and pick a card. How many outcomes are possible? 2 times 4 equals 8. Option number 1 is the correct option. You spin the spinner and pick a card. How many outcomes are possible? We have only two outcomes for the spinner. and 8 outcomes for the card. So the total outcomes are 8 times 2 is 16. So the correct option is 8 times 2 equals 16. Option number 3 is the correct option. You pick a winner. How many outcomes are possible? That is 3 times 4 is 12. Option number 3 is the correct option. How many outcomes? You pick a card and spin the spinner. How many outcomes are possible? So, which is the correct option? That is 5 times 3 is 15. Option number 1 is the correct option. If you roll a dice and pick a marble, how many outcomes are possible? That is 6 times 2 is 12. But 2 is the correct option. You pick a card and spin the spinner. How many outcomes are possible? That is 4 times 4 is 16. Option number 2 is the correct option. You roll a die and flip a coin. How many outcomes are possible? That is 6 times 2 is 12. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete this lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. Identify dependent and independent events. Identify dependent and independent events. Pick a card at random without putting the first card back. He picks a second card at random. Are these two events dependent or independent? So, when you're going to pick the card for the first time, like Justin is going to pick the card for the first time, he have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven cards he have, right? Without putting the first card back. Now, for example, this is the card he picked at the first time. For the second time, the he have six outcomes because he didn't put the first card back. So the outcomes of the second events are affected by the outcomes of the first event. So that means they are the dependent events. The correct option is dependent events they are. If the outcomes of the second event are affected by the outcomes of the first event, they are the dependent events. Okay, let's just start with the test questions. Justin pick a card at random with putting the first card back. Second card at random. Are these two events dependent? So they are the dependent events. Option number 1 is the correct option. Jennifer picks a card at random, puts it back, and then picks another card at random. Are these two events dependent or independent? They are the dependent events. For the first time, he have three cards, but for the second time, he put it back, so they are the independent events. The correct option is independent events. Independent events. Tara pulls a coin out of her pocket and places it on the table. Then she reaches back into her pocket and takes out a second coin. Are these two events dependent or independent? So, for example, first time when she's going to pick the coin from her pocket, she have four coins, right? The second time she have one less than before. So that means they are the dependent events. Option number one is the correct option. Aaron spin the spinner twice. Are these two events dependent or independent? Spinner and coin, they are always the independent events. Dean and Christopher see a movie together. Dean picks a chair first and then Christopher does. Are these two events dependent or independent? The two events are dependent. Without looking, Harry chooses a from a mixed bag of marbles, writes down the color, and returns it to the bag. Then he draws another marble without looking. Are these two events dependent or independent? The two events are dependent. Option number one is the correct option. Oh, they are the independent events. Okay, got it. Students in a composition class may select certain topics on which to write an essay. Repeats are allowed and they do not need to inform the teacher of their choice prior to the due date of the essay. Are these two? So repeats are allowed. So this is they are the independent event because the repeats are allowed. So they are independent events. Leah and Amanda are picking teams for a game of basketball. Leah chooses first and then it's Amanda's turn to pick. Are these two events dependent or independent? Independent events they are. Got it, they are the dependent events. Mickey spins a spinner at the same time. Sam rolls a 20 sided die. Are these two events dependent or independent? They are the independent events. A customer purchases a lottery ticket that requires select six numbers. A few minutes later, another customer purchases a ticket, also choosing six numbers. Are these two events dependent or independent? These two events are independent events. Option number two is the correct option. Mario pick a marble at random, puts it back, and then picks another marble at random. Are these two events dependent or independent? They are the independent event. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is probability of dependent and independent events. Probability of dependent and independent events. You pick a marble at random. Without putting the first marble back, you pick a second marble at random. What is the probability of orange and orange? So, first time when you are going to pick the orange marble, we have two orange marbles out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 out of 8 it is. Now, without putting the first marble back, now you're going to put another orange marble. You have only one orange marble, and that is 1 out of 7. So 2 over 8 times 1 over 7. You need to calculate both the probabilities, you need to multiply them. That is 2 over 56 and 1 over 28 it is. So that is the probability of orange and orange. Let's just start with the test questions. Let's just start with the test questions. You pick a marble at random. Without putting the first marble back, you pick a second marble at random. What is the probability of orange? That is 1 by 28. a six-sided die two times, what is the probability of 3? So the probability of 3 is 1 out of 6 because you have only one choice out of 6. Now the probability of 6 is also 1 out of 6. So the probability of 3 and 6 is 1 by 6 times 1 by 6. So that is 1 over 36. Option number 1, correct option. 1 by 36 it is. Option number 1 is the correct option. What is the probability of yellow and green? The probability of yellow is 3 over 6 and the probability of green is 2 out of 6. So 3 by 6 times 2 by 6. That is 1 out of 6. That is 1 by 6. Option number 2 is the correct option. You pick a card at random without putting the first card, cut second card at random. What is the probability of orange? Orange. The probability of orange is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 7 out of 12. Now the probability of orange is, hold on. Okay, without putting the first card back. 6 out of 11. That is 7 over 12 times 6 over 11. 6 times 2 is 12, that is 7 over 22. The correct option is 7 over 22. 3 is the correct option. What is the probability of tail and tail? That is 1 by 4. Option number 4 is the correct option. Yumika, pick a marble at random, put it back, and then pick another marble at random. What is the probability of blue and blue? So you put it back. So the probability of blue is 2 out of 6, and the probability of blue is 2 out of 6. So the probability of blue and blue, that is 2 by 6 times 2 by 6. That is 1 over 9. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we were working on grade 6 math. Chapter we were working on is probability. The lessons we have covered today are compound outcomes by counting, identify dependent and independent events, probability of dependent and independent events. So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we just did. That is your homework until next session. So if you need more help with any of the lessons, click on the live chat button. Tutors are available there too. Or either you can write them down in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusion. No questions?